Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? Welcome back to Stappenbach 17 in Farming Simulator 17. We're getting much closer to Farming Simulator 19. They've started now the countdown, the official countdown until November the 20th. I know it's a bit longer than we originally wanted to wait, but yes, the official countdown for them seems to be when they start drip feeding us information about the new game and, you know, dev blogs and stuff like that. And we had a whole load of information just the other day about how the farm is placed and how you buy areas of land instead of fields and you can do whatever you like with them. You build the farm from scratch. It looks so awesomely cool. It really does. I can't wait to get hold of it. Just like you buy a plot of land and then throw down your buildings and you build them up however you want, and you design your own farm from scratch. But this is just going to be so cool. I am so looking forward to getting into it. Anyway, we do have a few months between now and November the 20th, and who knows what's going to happen between now and then. But what we do know is that we are here in Stappenbach, and we may or may not be staying here. We might be moving on. Now, it doesn't look like there's huge amounts of grass here. I mean, there is a reasonable amount. I'm not... Did I not fertilize? I did fertilize. Surely just exiting the game and coming back in shouldn't allow the grass to just deteriorate. I don't think it does. I don't think that's, I don't think I've had anything like that happen to it. At least I really hope I haven't, because if I have, that's going to be bitterly disappointing. Anyway, unfortunately, we can't use the hired help on this field. I don't know why, but we can't do it. So while we just sort of chug up and down the field, just finishing off this little bit of hay turning, my weekly question that I've been asking you for the last 2 weeks, because I did say a couple of weeks ago, for those of you who missed those episodes, what I'm going to do now is I've been doing the weekly question for quite a long time, and lately the weekly question, what I've had to do is, because I have to record this first episode of each week before the weekend, there's a lot of people not getting a chance to vote because you only watch the videos at the weekends. So in order to give people a chance to vote, I'm changing it slightly. I'm going to change the map that I'm playing every 4 weeks. So at week 2, I will ask the question, which map do we go to next? And I will also include keeping the one that we're on. And then week 3, I will ask the same question again. So you get 2 weeks in which to answer. So it should give everybody a chance to vote on the question. And I've got the impression from asking previously that most of you kind of like the idea of the votes where, you know, picking out tractors and other things like that, but you feel that a lot of that can just be done with comments in the comment sections, because I do listen to the comments in the comment sections, even if I don't answer. Like this week I've hardly answered anything, but I still read them. I've been quite busy, so I do still read them. It's the summer holidays now, so I'm probably not going to be answering very many comments through the summer holidays. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to be reading them, and I will also take them into account. It's just that I can't take the time to go and answer a whole load of them. Normally I sit there for half an hour and I'll go through and I'll answer a whole load of comments and stuff. But yeah, I literally just don't have the time to do that at the moment because of summer holidays and so on and so forth. And there's other things going on as well. But anyway, that bit aside, we're not here to talk about that. So you've got 2 weeks in which to answer this question, and then I will not ask the question for 2 weeks, so week 4 and then week 1 of the next map, or staying on the same map, and then I will ask another which map next question. So there is only going to be one type of question for a while. We'll see how this works out. If it works really well, we'll continue this on into FS19 as well. So we can start off on one of the maps that they present us with, and then I can keep asking you every 4 weeks, which new map do you want me to move to? Now, there may not be 5 maps to choose from to start with, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So, for this month's question, I asked you, did you want me to stay here on Stappenbach? Did you want me to move to the Horsch Aggravation map? Did you want me to go to the brand new Welker Farms, the Valley of the Old Farm, or Lone Oak Farm? Now, the votes on this were rather interesting because the first day that I asked it, Welker Farms had only just come out. And there was a very large amount of people that wanted Welker Farms. And that one came second on the list by not very much. It was sort of fair, it was quite close. But a lot of people have gone and played Welker Farms and have taken a look at it, and the response that I've gotten back from it is most people are rather underwhelmed. It does everything that it promised, it delivers everything that it promised, but it's really, really big. And as such, really, really big does tend to get a little bit uninteresting. If you're working in huge fields, it's not really all that entertaining. And it's kind of like, it's a quick thing and then it's over, because you sort of start to realise just how uninteresting it is to drive up and down in this game on massive fields and not really able to do very much else. And so the enthusiasm for the map seems to have dribbled off to a standstill as the vote went on through the 2 weeks. It was quite interesting watching that one, because the vote, the Welker Farms one actually slipped into 3rd place at one point during last week's voting with that particular video. But anyway, let's give you the actual numbers. We had 2,699 votes, which I didn't think was too bad, considering that we're just starting summer holidays for most of the Northern Hemisphere, so we've not actually got very many people watching videos. And I can see that right the way across my entire channel, and also right the way across quite a number of other channels. YouTube is slow at the moment. YouTube is very slow. We've got a heat wave across most of Europe, and I don't know about the States. You could very well have as well, and everybody's starting summer holidays, so yeah, we're not getting a lot of YouTube activity at the moment. So I thought that 2,700 votes is pretty good. So anyway, I just wanted to talk about those numbers, because some people will, I often get like comments and messages and say, well, you know, you're not getting very much interest on these anymore. Do you need to be asking different questions? You've got to look at the big picture. Anyway, out of 2,699, I'm getting very sidetracked today, aren't I? I'm very sorry about this. 2,699, we had Valley the Old Farm coming in at 5th place with 124 votes. Then in 4th place rather was the Horse Aggravation with 151, and this surprised me because that came 2nd last time. And then in 3rd place was Lone Oak Farm with 273. The Welker Farms map had 478 votes and 1,673 votes for me to stay right where I am here on Stappenbach and keep playing this one for another 4 weeks. So we're here for another 4 weeks. We're going to do our various jobs that we want to do. So I want to get this hay done, and then once we've done the hay, we'll bale it all up. We'll run through here as fast as we can with an auto-load trailer. I'm not going to mess around with that. And once we've got the hay in storage, out the way, so that it's nicely covered over, then we're going to jump forward again, and we're going to try and get some combining and stuff done. We want to combine the crops that we've got. We also want to, we don't want to combine all of it. We want to combine the big field. We also want to do whole crop silage into the silage clamp near the cows for the smaller field that is closer to the yard. So we've got 2 jobs that we want to do there, and we want to do those as quickly as we can. And hopefully we get both of those jobs done this week. And then I have since found out from people commenting and from my own research that the cows that we've got, the beef cows, I couldn't understand why they weren't doing anything, because they didn't have grains in, and they don't have potatoes in either. Apparently, if you don't have something of every single item they require, they just don't do anything at all. So we've got to get potatoes in for those cows, which is, as far as I'm concerned, an absolute jolly nuisance. I didn't really want to have to mess around with getting potatoes in for them, but the farm is there, and there is a small field of potatoes right over there, so we're just going to go and have a look at this one a minute, and that is there. It's not a very big field, but I think we've got more potatoes on this field than we're going to need. Right? I don't think we're going to need to worry about any more potatoes than just these few here. We could even lease a massive, great big potato harvester in order to harvest them. I figured that would probably be alright. So we're going to go here, and, you know, we could actually just very quickly, because this is only 10 grand to buy, we could very quickly just go and fertilize this field, so that we can get a slightly increased yield. We only have 1 layer of fertilizer active on the map, because I thought that would just make life a lot easier for us if we were to do that. So if I just quickly whiz up and down this field with the fertilizer spinner, we will then have a field of potatoes, fully fertilized, that we can use for feeding our cows. At least that's what I'm hoping. Now, have I got to go back up the other end and get that one? Oh, nope. Right down here, that's worked out perfectly. There we go. So we've now got a fertilized field, and it didn't actually cost us anything to fertilize it. So I can go back to there, and I can buy that one for 9,500 euros. So that is our potato field, and we will probably harvest that with a huge, great big harvester, rather than messing around with a small harvester. There's one other thing I wanted to do, so I just want to very quickly look at the actual cows over here, and see what else we need to get for them. They've got to have potatoes, and they've got to have wheat, barley, or maize. Well, we're going to get the wheat, barley, maize in the summer, so we'll be able to get something for that, and then the rest of it we don't need to worry about. Then they're not actually going to be affected by it. So let's get this one here. Start folding up the hay turner. Now it should switch off. There we go, it switched off. We get this one back to the dealership, and we may as well sell this one. I can't remember if we... Yeah, we'll sell this one, and it's also going to answer my question. I was trying to find out whether or not this one we'd be able to sell this one back. Whoa! Okay, it's a bit top heavy, that one is. I want to know if we could sell this one straight back. You know, the Seasons has that thing where you can... you buy something and you use it for a short amount of time, and then you can sell it straight back, provided you haven't done too much time. I love this. This is brilliant. Provided you haven't used it for too long, you can sell it straight back for the full price. I think you've got 30 minutes to do it. Now, I may have had this one for longer than 30 minutes, and I'm also not sure if it counts when you log out or not. Let's see if we can do that again. That's brilliant. I like that. Right, let's stop in there a second, and we'll see if we can sell these for full price. 26,000 for that one. Okay, and how much does it cost to buy that one? I just want to go in here to Tedders at 26,000. Ideal. Right, so that means we're selling both of these. Sell for the full price that we paid for them, which is absolutely brilliant. So next, we need to be rowing things up. It's not in Tedders, it's in Windrowers. Now, I was tempted... Oh, and yes, I did say last week, I was talking about the Krone DLC and the Krone wrapper. Of course, I meant the Coon wrapper and the Coon DLC. My mistake, I got that wrong. Right. Krone, right there. The Krone Swadro 2000 is my absolute favourite rake of all time. I love this thing, so we're going to buy that one so that we can... It's again, we're doing that trial thing, so we come back out of there, and we want a tractor to tow it with. We're not going to use our Xerions, we're going to use one of these tractors, and we're going to have a look through. New Holland is not owned by Agco, it's New Holland and... I can't remember now. Somebody told me it's Deutz and Massey and Fendt, I think, are all owned by the same ones. Or is it is Deutz and Fendt not by the same ones? Is Deutz and New Holland together? I can't remember now. Somebody did carefully explain it to me, and now I can't remember anything of what you carefully explained to me, because I'm just like that, yeah. But yeah, there was a few of them in together. The Hurleyman, that's the one I want to try this with. Let's try that one there. Right, we'll go for a bigger engine on there, so that's going to go 99,500. No, we don't want anything else. I haven't used a Hurleyman in any of my episodes for a very long time, so I think that this is the right tractor to use. It's a small tractor. It's a little compact tractor. It may or may not struggle with this rake. We will see. Actually, what is the recommended... It'll probably tell us. What is the recommended horsepower? 130. And what is the horsepower of our brand new tractor that we have just purchased? 127. Okay. In order to make this go reasonably quickly, I'm not going to worry about using a Hurleyman today. We will sell that one back for 99,500, and we will get a different tractor, one that's slightly bigger. So, I don't want those. That was the one... Wasn't that the one we used? I'm not sure. So, we got New Holland there. Several people have asked me to use a New Holland, so maybe we could do that. Or a Massey. I haven't used Massey in a very long time, I don't think. I know everybody has got their favourites. I keep getting asked... People ask me to use Deutz, people ask me to use Massey. I've been using a stayer in the time-lapse series. I'm going for Massey. I'm going to go for the Massey this time. The 7726 right there by 207,000 euros. There we go. That one's 280 horsepower. That one ought to be able to cope with this rake. So let's jump into there. We won't worry about a front weight on this one. I don't think we need it. It's not got a massive amount of weight on the drawbar, especially once it's unfolded in the field, because the weight is taken by the wheels underneath each of the rotors. So we shouldn't need a front weight. A front weight... You should only really use a front weight when you absolutely need one, because it does add to compaction in the field. And also, as well as compaction in the field, it can also lead to damage and unnecessary stress on the actual working parts of the tractor itself. The steering mechanism, the extra weight that a 1.5 ton weight dumped on the front of a tractor can do, it does actually do a significant amount of additional wear and tear. So unless you've absolutely got to, it's best to try to avoid using the weight. Now, if you're running like grain trailers in and out of the place, you'd want a weight on the front. That would be something that you would actually want a weight on. It would aid your running around with the grain trailers because the weight that's being pushed down on the back of the tractor is quite significant. And so with the weight that's being pushed down on the back of the tractor, it meaning that the front of the tractor is becoming a little bit lighter, and so the steering is not going to be quite so good. You're not going to have quite as much traction as you would like. And so in order to combat that, you would obviously want to have an extra bit of weight on the front of the tractor, just to nudge the nose down a bit, keep those wheels firmly on the ground so that you've got full control over your vehicle. Something like this in the field, it's absolutely not needed. Now, if I was using a heavy implement with on the 3-point linkage, and I was relying on a 3-point linkage for the majority of the time, then again I would want a weight on the front in order to keep that nose down on the ground and keep the traction on the front wheels, because it does make a significant difference. If your wheels are light, your turning circles aren't perfect, and it's very easy to mess things up. Now, we've got to very carefully get all the way around the field. The one thing I don't like about this rake is trying to judge the outside round, especially if you've got anything with a collision on it on the outside round. It certainly starts to make life a little bit interesting. In real life, I would just go slowly. I always did this. I've known people who are absolutely amazing tractor drivers. They don't even slow down. They don't slow down for corners or anything like that. Now, it has admittedly been several years, I'm talking about at least a decade, since I drove a vehicle for a living, and did any more than 4 or 5 hours at any one time in any kind of tractor or anything else. I did drive forklifts for my job where I worked in a factory, but even then I wasn't on them all the time. It was kind of, I did a few hours here and there mostly. So you develop an eye for exactly where your tractor should be or your machine should be at any one time, and you get very good at judging distances. And I have lost that touch a little bit. I'm more than happy to admit that I've lost that touch a little bit because I haven't been driving vehicles anywhere near as much as I used to. But even when I was driving full-time and I worked on farms full-time, I still wasn't the best at judging the distances when I was using big machinery, because I was used to driving slightly smaller machinery, stuff that only stuck out the side by a meter or so. So when I was very occasionally put onto something that stuck out the side by 4 meters or 6 meters or something worse, I was never very good at judging it when I was like doing the outside round of a field. So I'd just go slowly. And I wouldn't try to be a hero. I wouldn't try to impress anybody, because it doesn't impress anybody when you go around the field and you rip a hole in the fence or you damage the machine. But it does impress somebody if if you've got a boss, if you just say, well, I'm not entirely confident with that, I'm going a little bit slower so that I don't damage anything. He's going to be more happy, he or she is going to be more happy with that than they are with you driving like an idiot. And then once you get into the middle of the field, obviously you can speed up as much as you like. Now, I have just missed a few little bits down through there, and if some of you are a bit OCD like me, that's probably really irritating you right now, because it is really irritating me that I've left them behind. I also don't like with this one that when you turn sharp, it does leave bits behind, but I don't think there's a lot we can do about that. Now there, I left a big bit on the corner. I'm gonna have to go back round with the baler and gather those up. We have a baler here, but there's a different baler that I'd like to use to do this. We do have a baler that we went and bought, but there is a different baler that I'd like to use. One that I've started using in the time-lapse series. It costs a lot more, right? It is an expensive baler. This one costs 300,000 euros to buy, but I think it's worth the 300,000 euro price tag, mainly because of something that I only just found out recently, and if you've watched Sunday's time-lapse, you will also realise exactly what I'm talking about. And I'm not talking about the sled that goes on the back that puts the bales into threes, although that is very cool. That's an optional extra. No, there's one other bit that is very, very cool that I want to do. So we're going to have a look at that baler once I finish raking this up. Now, I'm not going to worry about like leaving a bit and doing straight lines up and down. I'm just going to go round and round the field until we're done with this. So I might actually just go on and do a little bit now, and then we can see about getting that baler going. This is the other difficult bit with this great big one, is turning in corners. If you've got a tight corner, it does make it a little bit more difficult to turn round with. However, I still love this rake, and not having it in the base game for FS17 is still one of the biggest heartbreaks that I had with this game. I absolutely love FS17. I know there's a lot of people that say it's basically FS15 with mods. I think it's more to it than that. I think this game was a significant improvement over the last one, but I will forever be heartbroken and still have that sense of betrayal that they removed this one from the base game. I was genuinely heartbroken to find that this one wasn't in the base game, and so I'm really hoping that they add it back into FS19. I really do. I'm really hoping that they have seen sense and they put it back in. Here's the other bit that's difficult with a rake like this, is trying to get round things like telegraph poles, because it just doesn't really fit, does it? You end up like you end up making some obscenely big windrows as you work your way around the map. We've got another obscenely big windrow that is about to be developed over here, and I've also got to get round here without actually wrapping it round that telegraph pole. Can I do that? Oh, I think I brushed it. I think I did actually brush it then. Right, let us continue up across. This is a nice straight run. The course, we're going to try hired help a minute. Let me just do that and switch off the AI vehicle extension, and we'll just see if this works. I've just crashed my game. Okay, thank goodness for that. I don't think I've actually crashed it. Helper F is blocked by an object. The money has stopped pouring down, but the money was absolutely pouring down there to start with. Let's just whoa. There is something seriously wrong with the game right here, and I'm thinking the only way that we're going to be able to because if I get back into that tractor, I think it's going to completely crash properly. I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to stop the recording a minute so we can at least save the bit that we've done. Right, now we've got to see if we can actually get in here, because that one's it's not like switching off or anything. And if I go over here out of range, boom, that happens. And then the money starts going crazy, and it shouldn't be. And then if I jump back in here, the money's starting to go crazy again. Ah, it stopped. Right, that time it's actually worked. Okay, I don't know if it's the rake or... I'm assuming it's the rake. I gotta be honest, I'm assuming that this is the rake that just done that. We're not going to do anything with hired help again, because that very nearly ended up in game crashing, and it's really frustrating when that happens. I can assure you, because it's happened to me several times, you get 2/3 of the way through recording an episode and then the game crashes, and so you lose, because if the game crashes, my recording software usually crashes at the same time, and I've looked this up to see if it's just mine, but apparently this happens with a lot of game recording software. If the game crashes, then the recording software will very frequently crash as well, and there's nothing you can do about it whatsoever. No matter what mode you've got it on, the computer crash causes all sorts of things to go funny. So yeah, it is really frustrating, because then I got to go and re-record the entire episode, and yeah, that's just annoying. So I'm going to finish this myself rather than being lazy, and then we can hopefully so long as it hasn't messed anything up. Sell both of these two back, and we can take a look at something new and shiny. Right, we can sell this one back now for a full refund. I was just thinking, I don't think it is this mod that caused that funny thing to happen, because I've used this mod before with hired help without any adverse effects. And if you remember, we tried to use the hired help with the rake, not the rake, with the tedder down there, with the turner. And that didn't work properly either. So I think it's something to do with the buying, you know, with the way that the fields merge together. I reckon there's some sort of conflict there with that and the hired help. What it is, whether it's conflicting with another mod as well, I'm not sure. But I reckon it's something to do with one of those as opposed to anything else. We'll see. Anyway, right. Sell that one for 53,067 euros. And 53,067. That's... yeah. Because it calculated the time that the hired help was being used much faster than it actually was being used. Because, like that one there, 75,000, yeah. So it actually, even though we didn't use it for 30 minutes, it still sort of said to itself that it had used it for more than 30 minutes. Which is why we didn't get the full price back on either of those, which, again, is another little bit of a disappointment there. But anyway, what I want now is I want these, and I don't have the money for them, so we're going to have to, first of all, take out a little bit of extra loan, if we can. There we go. Borrow. We've got 500,000 borrowed at the moment, but we can borrow more, because we have many cows, and we have many other things as well, so we're going to keep borrowing. We're going to push our borrowings up as high as we can possibly go. Well, we'll go up to 800. We'll take a loan of 800,000. So it's back out of there. And that's given us a little bit more cash to play with. I mean, remember, we're not keeping these machines. We are sending them back again. I want the Krone Big Pack right there. Select, and I don't want a bale shoot. I want the bale collect. Refill bale twine manually, and we will buy for 320,000. There we go. Back out of there, and I want the bale collect as well. Definitely want this one. Buy. I love this thing. This is absolutely awesome. Back out of there. And is the bits in here? They are not in there. We need to go up to this end, and I need to go to pallets, and I need to come down through here, and I need a bale twine pallet. I need to buy one of those. Like that. And then I need a powerful tractor. Now, we're doing this on the level, so... I know for a fact that the Steyr Terrace CVT, upgraded to 313 horsepower, will pull this one on the level. Going up hills, it does really slow it down, though. It really does slow it down. So I think this time we're going to go for a Deutz-Fahr Series 9. We will trial this one, and the engine on there goes up to 336 horsepower. We will go... ooh. We're doing this bad boy with twins. We are doing this bad boy with twin wheels all the way. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to enjoy this. Oh yeah, that's much more like it. Now we're talking. Right, first up, we need to go and get that baler hooked on, and we need to open up the side so that we can reload the twine. So you bring this one back onto here. You hitch it up as you would any other baler. So far, nothing unusual. And then we bring this one round. Now, for this, we would actually want a front weight, because there's a lot of weight on that baler that's pushing down onto us. Balance, 600 euros. This little lot just got... I can't believe that it actually... I wasn't really paying attention. I can't believe it actually came that close on it. So 600 euros, I'm going to have to borrow another 5 grand. Borrow there, so that I can get the front weight that I need. And we want a heavyweight. We'll go for an Agco... ooh, look at that thing there. That's a big old weight. No, we want the Agco 2.3 ton weight. We'll take that one. And the colour is going to match our tractor, which is that one, I think. Buy. There we go. Okay. Back out. Again. There. Okay. I need to get that weight on now. So I have to come out, swing round, try and turn round. This one doesn't have the turning circle that I'm used to with my class Xerion, which is a little bit disappointing, I've got to be honest, because I was starting to get used to that turning circle. It's obscenely amazing. Right, there we go. We've at least got that. We've got that one on. That's the important bit, and then I can bring this one up close to here. We need to open up the sides on this, and I absolutely love this. Right, we switch over to here. and lower twine boxes, you press Z like that, and it lowers them down like this. Now, I used to drive a baler, okay, and I never had anything that put the twine boxes out like that. You would scramble up into the sides. I drove, it was a class quadrant, the old 1200. Horrible things, absolutely horrible things, they really were. And you bring this one in close like this. You do this all from in cab, you don't do it from out of cab. You bring it up close like that, and then you refill the baler like that, and it puts all of the twine into the baler like that, and then you press Z again. It closes that one down, and it lifts the sides back up into place. There we go. Absolutely wonderful machine this is. I'm curious how we're going to actually get out to the field with my twin wheels on, but we'll give it a go. We'll give this a shot, I think. And I'll back up there and hitch that one on as well. So I've got the sledge on the back, as well as we've refilled our baler. We are good to go. So now we've got to squeeze it. Let's put our flashing beacons on, shall we? And squeeze out round there. There. And I really love this entire mod. The straw add-on, I wasn't that impressed when I first looked at it. I really like the pellet maker, although it's quite slow, but I wasn't impressed with this baler because it's 320,000 euros. And then you go and add in, okay, apparently twin wheels don't really work going around the streets here. And I wonder if I can just, maybe I can just drive over the car. I think that's probably gonna have to be how we do this, because I don't think I'm gonna be doing that any other way. It's just not gonna happen, is it? Right, round we go. Let's hope that we can get through there before we meet too much more traffic. And of course, I've actually got to get into the field as well. This may be another problem. I can fit. Right, there we go. Yeah, I wasn't all that impressed with this one, you know, the pellet maker and everything, but having since done a bit more with it, I am impressed with it. It is very well made. It is very cool. So what you do is you bring this one up to here, and then you got to unfold the bale sled at the back first. So you press X on there. It draws it in close and locks it tight in place. The wheels on the back, they become free moving. And now when I turn the corner, it doesn't like float around as much. And I press F1 to get rid of that. And then I will lower this one down and I will start. You don't need to worry about starting the one at the back. That one goes automatically. And this is the bit that I am most impressed with this one. Now 20k is the normal speed of a baler. This one does 27k. Right? See how fast this goes. And with the windrow that we've got with this particular hay turner that we've been using, that's how fast it goes through. And I'm going to try and get this one up to full speed. We're just going to go, I'm going to have to try and keep it in a straight line so that we pick up all of the hay. So if I bring it up like that, and you can see it being dropped off the back, and then straight down off the back like that, and out comes the bale. And this windrow is so big that I'm actually leaving some of the stuff behind. And I'm wondering if that is why it wasn't included in the base game. I mean, I can't imagine that is like a solid enough reason not to include it, because you could have thinner crop, I suppose. But anyway, 27k up across the field with this thing. And the only issue that I've really got with it is that the dust is very realistic. And you might say, well, why would that be a problem? It's realism. We don't mind a bit of realism, and no, I like realism. Except that the realistic levels of dust make it very difficult to see what you're doing sometimes. It does sort of, it gets in the way. I'd like the dust to not be quite so severe on this one. But overall, I think that this is an absolutely wonderful mod. So we're going to have to finish our baling in the next episode rather than doing it all today. And then we will gather up the bales, and then we're going to be moving forward into the later summer. We've got our 3 bales on the back there. And it's amazing how quickly this thing is going through. And yes, I am trying to get a screenshot right now. I know that I've put this in right at the very end of the episode. So technically you could say this is clickbait. But the speed that we do our baling, I think that we're going to get through this pretty quick. There we go. There's our 3 bales on the back, our Krone Big Pack. There, that's a beautiful screenshot. That is a beautiful screenshot right there. Okay, I'll carry on now and actually do the baling. Some people have said you don't really think this is worth the money because it's not a DLC, it's an add-on, and it is a bit pricey. And yes, I agree, it does seem a bit pricey. It's made by I think it's BSM Modding, who've teamed up with a... You know, I honestly can't remember who they teamed up with now. It's a company that are known for making add-ons for different games, and they've got a good reputation for it. They do have a good reputation for making some very good quality mods. I've used this mod quite a lot with the straw pellet thing, with this add-on pack with the straw pellets. I've really investigated it all thoroughly, and I gotta say, I am very impressed with it. It does sort of come... This is something that Yes, I was given it for free. I say that up front. I was given this for free. I haven't had to go and pay for it. Out of hard-earned cash, I haven't then had to go and take some of my hard-earned money and spend it on this add-on. So, you know, that is it. Obviously, that will make a bit of a difference. But if anybody does or doesn't go and buy it now, it makes no never mind to me whatsoever. I don't get commissions, I don't earn anything from it. It's not like my relationship with Fanatical, where if you go and buy something through Fanatical, I earn money. It's nothing like that whatsoever. They gave me a free copy and said, yep, do your worst, and you can sort of do a free review. Make sure you don't release any footage of this before such and such a time, which was 6 hours after... another more popular channel released his footage of it, so obviously he was told he was allowed 6 hours leeway in front of everybody else to gain a load of views, which, I mean, I sort of understand that marketing ploy, but I've heard I don't really quite get it. What's the difference between letting all the YouTubers release at the same time, or letting only the biggest one release 6 hours ahead of everybody else? That's one little thing that I don't quite understand with how it was released. But anyway, that bit aside, loads of YouTubers were given this for free as obviously part of their marketing, and so it is going to make a difference. But I still think it's worth it. I still think this one is worth that money, and if I hadn't been given it for free, it is one that I would have gone and bought, and I would, because I do, you know, probably half the games I play, I still have to pay for. The thing with some people think that being a YouTuber, you get given everything for free. That's definitely not the case. And I've sort of gone from being a very small YouTuber to a medium YouTuber. And I've reached a point where I get given game keys for different games nearly every single day. In my inbox, for my emails, I get game keys for games nearly every single day. And all I got to do is go through and decide which ones would be suitable for playing on the channel and which ones probably wouldn't be of any interest to anybody whatsoever. And I get a mixture of everything. So some of probably on the games that I actually play on the channel, half of them I get given for free, and the other half I pay for myself. And so I do sort of understand, you know, when I look at something, the first thing I look at if I'm being given it for free is I look at the price and then judge whether or not I think that it's actually worth me paying that price before I start playing the game or reviewing it or anything else. Because if I really don't think it's worth the price tag that it comes with, then I wouldn't review it, or, and you know, I don't review it. I don't review it or play it or anything else. Because I don't think it's very fair for me to be playing a game that I wouldn't pay for myself, because I just don't think it's worth the price tag that's attached to it. And I've done the same with this add-on. I do think, yes, it is expensive, and yes, it is at the upper end of what I think I'd be willing to pay for any kind of add-on or DLC. But I do think it's worth it. I do think it is worth the money. This 3-bale sled that we're using right now is absolutely wonderful. I really do like it. And also the pellet thing is really awesome. The Primos 4000, being able to use that is wonderful. But anyway, I've rattled on about this long enough, and I really do need to go. So there's no weekly question this week. We are staying on Stappenbach for another 4 weeks after this week, so... suggestions down below for things you'd like me to do as we move from summer through to autumn and winter. We've got obviously our harvests and stuff to do first, and then after that, it's what else do we do on this map. So if you've enjoyed the episode, then please head down below and give us a like, and if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me, get them to come and watch as well, that would be awesome. And until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar, goodbye, and see you later.